Alrighty, everybody. What's going on, guys? Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's doing good. It's good to have you guys here for another, well, I shouldn't say update. I should say coverage. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. Let's see what we got here today. We have Mark. What's up, Mark? Hope you're doing good. We have Raka. Let's see. What's up, Tabletop? Ohio says, yo, long time no see, brother. How are you? I'm doing pretty good, man. Hopefully you're doing good. Good to see you here. What's up, Ghosted? What's up, Lizzie? What's up, Jill? Saying hi, Andrew, and everyone. We got some nasty weather stuff going on north of here. Ooh, well, be careful out there, my friend. That is for sure. What's up, Ghosted? Saying, I wish we had some weather going on in Florida. Yeah, it's been pretty dry today. We didn't hardly have any storms in Florida today, unfortunately. It's been hot though, like you said. It's been ridiculously hot. What's up, MD? Welcome. What's up, Fast Car? Let's see here. John says, it turned out pretty calm for Chicago. What, did it? Well, Chicago's got a marginal today. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot going on here in Chicago right now. We got a little bit of shower activity, but nothing big. We do have a lot of the storm activity, though, out by, like, Indiana and whatnot, which we are monitoring two slight risk here today, folks, in which we are tracking the first one's up here in Maryland and South Pennsylvania here. This is a level 2 threat, including Washington, D.C., Baltimore. So, yeah, we're just going to keep an eye out there for this region here. Of course, we do have the pretty big marginal risk as well that stretches, through the Ohio Valley. But then we have another level 2 risk up here up north for the North and South Dakota. Also a little bit of Minnesota included here too, a little bit of Wyoming and Montana. So today's tornado probability, we do have 2% areas here. So we do have to watch out for maybe an isolated spin-up tornado or two across the green areas here. The first region up here in the Dakotas, northern South Dakota, central eastern North Dakota, and like the west central northwestern side here of Minnesota. Then we got ourselves another little 2% tornado risk up here across central Illinois, central northern Indiana, and a little bit of southwestern Michigan here. So those states here, we could see maybe a brief spin-up tornado or two. We cannot rule it out. Tornadoes will be possible today. So that's kind of what we're looking at here for. Damaging winds, we just have two, 15% regions here in the yellow. Of course, the brown here is a 5% here. Mostly wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. You never know. Nature's crazy sometimes. And, we could see maybe at worst case scenario a wind gust upwards of, 70 miles an hour or so. But we'll see. Most of those are going to be right around 60 miles an hour. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we just got a little hail risk up north. The risk out by the Ohio Valley in the Mid-Atlantic does not include hail. The only area that we do have for hail today is going to be up here in the Dakotas, out there by Minnesota, a little bit of Colorado, a little bit of Montana here as well. Let's see here. Tabletop says thoughts on the margin risk for my area tomorrow. We'll get into it here in a minute. That's for sure. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at here today. Like I said, we're definitely just going to be watching the watching the weather here today. We do have a little bit of severe thunderstorm activity going on here now. We got all kinds of warnings and stuff going on. It's just a big mess across the country. I mean, look at all this junk that we have. Yeah, most of these are heat advisories that we have, stretching all the way from the Midwest, the plains down the southeast, and a lot of the East Coast here now has heat advisories and all kinds of nasty stuff. Even some extreme heat warnings still in effect out here by South Carolina, North Carolina. So yeah, it's definitely been pretty aggressive with the heat. But looking at the severe weather side of things here right now, we do have a couple severe storms up in Ohio. We got one out here by Philadelphia, Ohio. This is for just 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. 0-inch hail. So we're not, like I said, we're not expecting much of anything hail related for the Ohio Valley or the Mid-Atlantic today. So that's certainly good. Let's see here. Jill says we're seeing it in the thumb areas in Michigan. Doesn't look like we have anything severe right now up in Michigan, but we do have still a little bit of showers and storms though. Let's see. Bring back up the day one outlook here. So yeah, southern Michigan, could see maybe an isolated severe storm or two. Likely wouldn't be anything, super crazy or anything like that. But at the current moment, it just looks like we have a little bit of storm, maybe some shower activity, but it is sub-severe across Michigan currently. We do have another severe storm up here in Ohio, out by let's see here. New Washington, Sulphur Springs area here. This is for 60-mile-an-hour winds and actually penny hail. So, like I said, we're not expecting any significant hail or anything big time that way. What's up, Corey? Hope you're doing good. Saying how high are the chances of tornadoes? So for today, we have 2 areas of 2%, which we do have a pretty big 2% region up here. Up in North and South Dakota, a little bit of Minnesota, as well as another area here of 2% up across like central Illinois, central northern Indiana, and a little bit of extreme southwestern Michigan here. So, we cannot rule out an isolated tornado or two. We're definitely going to need to keep an eye out there for that. But the main threat today, like I said, is going to be damaging winds with those 2 15% risk areas here. And then once again, just a little hail threat up north for the northern plains. The threat for the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic does not include hail or any, severe hail or anything like that. Anyways, what's up, Mark? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Saying, how about central Missouri for the rest of the night? Well, I mean, Missouri is, depends on which part is central. I mean, we do have areas like Columbia, Jefferson City still in the marginal risk here today. For maybe a few strong to severe storms here. Looking at radar currently, you can see we do have a little bit of convection out here, a little bit of storm activity, mostly sub-severe currently, but, we cannot rule out potential of, a couple of those maybe becoming severe overall. The good news is that, the tornado threat does not extend into central Missouri. That threat's for, once again, Illinois, Indiana, and also that other threat up north. But for you, you're pretty good with tornadoes. Yeah, maybe just a little bit of gusty wind, could be possible. Once again, no hail, so that's that. What's up, Noah? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Say what's up, man. Not much. Let's see here. Nancy says, what about Greenfield, Ohio? Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, let me bring up Greenfield, Ohio for you. So we do have a little bit of severe weather going on up here in Ohio. Greenfield, okay, so you're actually not in the risk today. So we could still see some storms out here. Which, look at the radar. We do have a little bit of shower and some storm activity popping through here overall. But yeah, it doesn't appear that we have any thing severe going on out here. We do have we do have actually a severe warning up by the New Washington and Sulphur Springs area here, once again for 60-mile-an-hour winds. Also another one out by Philadelphia, Ohio here. So. But where you're at there in Greenfield, it doesn't look like we really have anything crazy. The only thing that we really have to look out for is the heat issue. As we do have, potential for heat index values up to 102, which is definitely a little toasty, just a little bit toasty. Let's see. Mark says we got the fair in Bowling Green, Missouri, starting at 7 Demolition Derby tonight. Nice, enjoy it. What's up, Weather on the Go? What's up, man? Saying it appears a strong MCS could develop Monday into Tuesday for southern Minnesota to northwest Indiana. Widespread damaging potential. It will exist. 4,000 plus Cape. Really? You said for for Monday and Tuesday. So what would that be? That'd be days 3 and 4, right? Days 3 and 4. Here, let me actually look at that. We're gonna bring you all the models here real quickly. Wonder if NAM shows it. You set up by Minnesota and Northwest Indiana. Gotcha. Got it. Oh, from Minnesota to Northwest Indiana. Gotcha. So, you said, once again, Tuesday, or Monday into Tuesday. Oh. Is it this guy right here you're looking at? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like we do have a lot of instability out here, which, I mean, really isn't super uncommon for this time of the year. I mean, shoot, yeah, once we go into Monday, we definitely do build in quite a bit of fuel. You know what? I see what you're talking about. It's this guy here. I can already look at it. Oh, buddy. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking you were talking about that other system for a second, but now I see that. That's interesting. Simulated reflectivity. I'm really curious to see what the short range shows. Like once we get to like HRRR and stuff, that'll be pretty interesting to look at here. Let me pull a sounding here. This is for late Tuesday, early Wednesday, or sorry, late Monday, early Tuesday. Yeah, Mark, definitely we'll have to. Monday night into Tuesday morning. Gotcha. Well, we do got a little bit of veering there in our lower atmosphere. A little bit of that activity. It seems like we do have a little bit of a cap here, but should be able to bust right through that here. Dude, look at that decape. Over 1,300 joules per kilogram. Yeah, there's a lot of fuel in the atmosphere. 8.8 degrees Celsius per kilometer lapse rates, dude. Wow. Yeah, it definitely looks a little bit spicy. We'll make sure to watch that, and if it needs coverage or anything like that, we'll be here for that. But anyways, yeah, no, we have a lot of other junk going on until then. See, a lot of time the MCS track further south a bit from what guidance shows. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna be really curious to see like how that looks whenever we do get to short range. You know, does that mean we get more rain? Some areas, yeah. Some areas for sure. Here, let's go ahead and bring up. Actually, we're gonna hop. Ooh, we got a little bit of activity up here in Nebraska. I've seen that they issued a watch here. We got a severe thunderstorm watch here for the next 4 hours. So we got a little bit of a line of severe storms here. All these are for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The one up north, though, out by Gordon. So once again, this is northwestern Nebraska. Out here by Gordon and Rushville. This one's actually warned for golf ball hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. So we definitely could see some pretty nasty hailers on this one. So we got that little line up there. We have another storm up here in South Dakota. A little bit of an isolated cell. This is just southwest of La Plante. Southwest of Peoria, I think it is. Seems pretty rural, though. That it does. So yeah, this one's $60.50 hail. Just very scattered. We have a couple more up here in Montana here, up by Stanford, Diamond Dot, Hobson, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, penny hail. Let's see here, another one up north, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, penny hail. That one's south of Chester, Montana. And let's see here, we got one up here east of, southeast of Bloomington, Illinois, the south by Urbana area. Bonneville and Sydney. They do have a tour possible on this storm here. Here, let's play that in motion a little bit here. Yeah, I don't really see any rotation going on, which is good, but they do have a tour possible tag on that, so let's keep an eye on that storm. See if that does anything out there. Right now, we just need to be keeping an eye on that because we do have 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So right now, just go indoors, stay away from windows if you could. Let me help you guys over here to mesoanalysis here. See what we got going on out here. So that was out there in Illinois, kind of on that little cluster there. We do have a lot of instability, over 3,000 joules per kilogram of instability. That's mixed layer too. That's quite strong. Shear does seem pretty weak though. across the atmosphere. We do have a little bit of veering, as you can tell. The lower level winds are going to the north, and you go up, and then they do change their direction a little bit. So there is that. In which, yeah, I could see why we do have that 2% tornado risk there, is because while the wind shear is pretty weak, we do have that veering motion there, which certainly could allow for maybe a couple of tornadoes or two. But more than likely, given weak kinematics, they would probably be fairly weak. Let's see your lower level winds, so yeah, about 15, 20 knots, which that's pretty weak. It's pretty weak. Mid-level flow, about 30 knots easterly, so wind's going east, I should say. Anyways, all right, so let's hop back over here to Ohio. So we're watching New Philadelphia area here. We do got a severe warning out in the region. What's up, Scott? Welcome, man. Oh, this has been observed now, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Let's see here. Source, law enforcement reported 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I wonder how they reported that. Is it like eyeball witness, or did they actually have like an anemometer and actually measured the winds? I wish they were a little bit more specific sometimes. What I can do, let's see here. Oh shoot, never mind. I don't have my GR2 up on this. Never mind. I was gonna say I could pull up GR2 and see if they have any reports, but yeah, no, that's been observed. We have 12 more minutes on that warning up by New Philadelphia. We still got this other warning up by New Washington, Sulphur Springs, 60-mile-an-hour winds, penny hail. So that's for also 12 minutes here. We've been northeast at 35 miles per hour. Hope you're doing good, Scott. Yeah, we got some convection out here by Columbus area too. Non-severe, but we do have a special weather statement out there for basically western Columbus, including West Jefferson, Upper Arlington, Hillard, Dublin. Possibility of 40-mile-an-hour winds on those storms. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Dude, I can't get over about how much mess there is here, dude. I mean, all of these heat advisories takes up so much. Here, let me do something real quick. We're gonna turn off the fire warnings and the heat warnings and stuff. And look how much that clears up the map. That's honestly crazy. That's honestly crazy. But yeah, they did push that severe thunderstorm watch out here not long ago. Probabilities here has 2 or more tornadoes at a low 5% chance here. Probability of 1 or more EF2 or greater, low 2%. Let's see, wind threat, moderate 30% chance of a probability of 10 or more wind events. Probability of 1 or more events being 75 miles an hour, potentially greater, or up to 75. 10% chance probability here. Tabletop says, also curious on your thoughts on the chit-chat about possibility of that potential system in the Atlantic. Yeah, so we were actually doing a bit of an update on that yesterday. To be honest with you here, we're going to bring it all back over to the models here. Looking at that system, we do have a wave coming off of Africa. Latest GFS doesn't really have it materializing really into anything, and obviously we can't look that far out. Oops. But, I mean, yeah, GFS does show that wave going off the west coast of Africa here. I know my things are kind of in the way. There you go. So that'll be right around the 28th as it rolls off here. But yeah, the latest GFS doesn't have much on it. You see Euro. Kind of the same thing. I mean, they both show that wave going off into the main development region here, but it doesn't really appear to kind of get a hold. Let me look at the moisture here. It seems like moisture might be an issue later in development here. At least as it rolls off of Africa, it seems like we have a decent amount of moisture, but as we go further, like Euro kind of suggests maybe a little bit more drier conditions. Only time will tell, That's just something we kind of got to wait out and see, how the models kind of handle it. CMC, does show that wave, but like GFS, like Euro, doesn't really catch. Then lastly, Icon. Yeah, I mean Icon shows it too. Kind of right there for the 29th here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like anything major right now. But, I mean, it should be monitored. I mean, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Yes, there could be changes between now and then. So we'll just have to see what happens, GFS doesn't show too much wind shear. See moisture-wise. Yeah. It's hard to tell this early, It is a little bit hard to tell this early, but we'll once again we'll just keep an eye on it, and if we do have any new development or any updates, we'll let you know, of course. Oh, we're definitely not ending. I didn't mean to hit the ending button. Mark says, let's see, will there be a cool down next week so we can get rid of the heat? GFS yesterday, we were actually looking at the models too. GFS was suggesting maybe a little bit of a temporary relief, but it does show it's still kind of remaining quite warm for the south. Here, let's bring up the new GFS here again. We'll bring up the those temperatures. So remember, this is actual temps. This is not heat index, by the way. So we work our way down into, let's see, the 30th. You can still see that the heat kind of remains very, very hot through the central southern plains here, also up the coast. It seems like the northern plains are going to be a little bit more cooler. But yeah, no, GFS does show a bit of relief, though. So this is for the first of the month. You can see that a lot of the Ohio Valley, the northeast, the central northern plains does cool down quite a bit. I mean, this is 2 p.m. on August 1st. Most of the temps across this region are in the 70s, which is actually a big cool down. But still, like I mentioned, in the south, it looks like it's still going to be quite warm. Unfortunately, we're just kind of in that pattern here. Yeah, that doesn't appear to really end. And I don't like to go too far into models, of course, but for the south, it doesn't look like it's getting any better. But up in the central northern country, yeah, it looks like we do have a bit of relief on the way, which will be pretty good. That it will be. We got a new warning up in Montana, northeastern Montana here. This is out by Oppenheim. See, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1.25-inch hail. That's for Oppenheim, Theone, Frenchman Reservoir, and Baylor. What's up, Abby? Hope you're doing good. See here. Up here by South Dakota. We've got a couple other storms out here. 1.25. Yeah, so greatest hail potential today is going to be in the plains. Still got that flood watch for central Illinois. Coasted. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get rid of that heat soon. It sucks. But we do still have that flood watch up here for central Illinois. Let's actually hop over to today's flooding risk here. We do have we actually do have 3 level 2 risks here for flooding. So the yellow indicates at least a 15% chance probability of flooding. At least, meaning it could be greater. That includes like I said, northern Missouri, eastern Iowa, central northern Illinois, central northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, extreme southern Michigan. We have another one up here by Pennsylvania, a little bit of Maryland as well. And then, of course, we have another level 2 threat for flooding up here in central New York State here. Then we got a few level 1 risks. We even have one out west here by California, Nevada, Oregon, and Idaho. Do I think this winter will be cold? It's kind of hard to tell, considering it is pretty far out. We'll have to just kind of wait a little bit and see. It's a little early for that, to be honest. Because we still got to go through the rest of summer. We still got to go through fall, and then we got to get into winter, and that's still, half a year away or so, which is a little difficult. But by the fall, we'll have our winter forecast out for you guys. I do plan on doing that, but that'll probably be a little bit though. forgot when I did my first winter forecast. When was that? I'll probably post it sometime maybe in late August or September. Let me look and see when I posted that one. Yeah, the first one that we posted was August 31st. Yeah, so we'll probably wait till the end of the next month to put out our winter outlook. So, but like I said, it's just still a little bit too far out for now. All right, so once again, taking a peek back at Ohio, we got ourselves a handful of storms popping through once again out there by New Philadelphia, Delroy area, Richville, Stone Creek, Dundee, Strasburg. We have 3 more minutes left on this warning here. Storm which prompted a warning has weakened below severe limits. Okay, so that's going to be allowed to expire here. We still have one up by New Washington, though. This one also expires in 3 minutes here. 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. See, someone was saying possible La Nina. Let me look at this real quickly. To be honest, it kind of looks like neutral status here. Let me show you all this. So this is the ENSO forecast here, Pacific Oscillation. It looks very straight. You know, dynamic and statistical averages remain within the threshold of neutral status for, you know, going into next year. I mean, you can see, you know, January, February, March, December, January, February. That's kind of the main part. Yeah, I mean, the green here is showing that statistical average and the dynamic average here in the reddish color. Most of the runs here do show, or most of the models here do show within still neutral status. We'll see, though. La Nina. I mean, given it is still early, there certainly could still be some changes because, I mean, obviously we're in late July. And so there could definitely still be some changes to it. But right now, the model predictions kind of show neutral status. So we'll see. I wouldn't count on La Nina or yet. I would say more than likely it seems neutral from what these models are suggesting here. But like I said, we'll give it some time. We'll give it some time. We'll let it marinate. But winter's still a little bit of a ways, away out. So there is quite a few things that could change by then. All right, so let's take a look at Nebraska. We got a watch once again out here, severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the next 4 hours. We do have a severe warning in place for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny hail. Yeah, that northern warning out here by Gordon and Rushville, Clinton area. This one is actually once again for golf ball size hail. As well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We have 15 more minutes on that one here. Golf ball hail and 60. Yeah, a storm like that, you definitely want to remain indoors. You don't want to be outside during because, I mean, as you can imagine, golf ball size hail hitting a window is not very good. So just please stay away from windows and remain indoors. Not to mention, you know, with the potential of those wind gusts are too, you know, upwards of 60-mile-an-hour winds on it too. Could be a kind of a big problem, you know, wind-driven hail. Ghosted says, interesting. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, we'll touch up on that when we get to our winter forecast, which that'll once again probably be late August. We'll probably put that August 31st, either that or September 1st. So, yeah, I mean that's still a little bit of ways away. I still need to. I'm going to put out a hurricane update here soon. What's it like walking outside in golf ball size hail? Not fun. Not fun. It could really hurt you. That's why it's very important that you remain indoors. Yeah, I mean, ice is heavy. Ice is very heavy. Let me look it up. I think the terminal velocity of golf ball hail is pretty high. Let's see. What? I'm going to ask ChatGPT. See what it says. What is the terminal velocity of a golf ball-sized hailstone?
The terminal velocity of a golf ball-sized hailstone is typically around 30 to 40 meters per second, about 67 to 89 miles per hour.
Jeez. Yeah. Keep going.
The terminal velocity of a golf ball-sized hailstone is typically around 30 to 40 meters per second.
Okay, basically what you just said. Okay. Yeah. 60 to 80, 67 to 89 miles an hour. That's ridiculous. It might give you a headache. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. Very important that you stay indoors. And you got to think, that stuff hitting windows too. If you're sitting next to a window, when you have golf ball hail, that could easily bust out windows, and it could, cause glass to go everywhere. That's why I tell you to stay away from windows, because it's important too. What's up, Sydney? Welcome. But yeah, just a little bit of a headache, that's for sure. Anyways, up here in South Dakota, we've got 2 severe warnings up here by Whitehorse area. This one's for 60-mile-an-hour winds and 1.25-inch hail, which is $half hail. The one to the south here is the exact same 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and $half sized hail. They both expire in 42 minutes. Let's take a look back in Ohio. Okay, so those 2 warnings we were looking at in Ohio, those canceled. We still do have a handful of special weather statements here for some storms producing wind gusts potentially up to 40 miles an hour. But we have no active severe warnings anymore in Ohio as of now. We do have a flash flood. Yeah, flash flood warning in effect for Richvilles. Richville? I'm not... How do you say that? Goshen? Oh, geez. I can't even... Oh, how do you even begin to pronounce that? Okay. Stone Creek. I can say that one. Yorktown, Newport, and Eastport. There we go. Let's see here. Wanted to say hi. Well, I'm glad you did, Sydney. Thanks for joining. What's up, Sam? Welcome, my friend. Can I please go to Pennsylvania? Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing severe right now in Pennsylvania. We do have a bunch of just scattered convection along western Pennsylvania, though. We do have a flash flood warning also in effect for Avonmore, Clarksburg, Altman area here in western Pennsylvania. This is just shy east of Pittsburgh area. Eastern, it's a lot more isolated storm-wise, but we still do have a little bit of convection out here by Lebanon, but most of eastern Pennsylvania is pretty clear. It's just a lot of the storm activity here is along western Pennsylvania, but remember, this is not severe right now. Let's see. Sam says, what's up with the 2% risk in the high plains? Yeah, so we do have those 2% risk areas. The first one's down here in Illinois and Indiana. The second 2% we do have up here in North Dakota, a little bit of South Dakota, and northwestern Minnesota. Here, let me bring up the models. We'll take a look at the models. That's something we have not done yet, which we'll do. But looking at convection or storm activity right now, this seems pretty quiet. This is more than likely going to be later convection here. Let's hop you guys over here. Back to the model. So here's the HRRR. This is a 22 UTC run here. So, yeah, it does seem like we're going to have quite a bit of late convection going on. So, right now and over the next several hours, we're going to continue to have those storms up across, like, South Dakota, like that severe one that we do have, or those 2 severe storms we have out here. So that convection is going to continue for the next couple of hours, but you can see that North Dakota is pretty calm. It's not until we approach like midnight Eastern, roughly, or that would be like 11 Central, that we start to see some of the convection working its way into North Dakota. It does seem pretty late, though. It does seem pretty late. Let's see here. We do have a lot of instability out here, though. Yeah, HRRR does show like 4,000 joules per kilogram there. That's quite a bit of fuel. Yeah, I mean, even 1,000 will do the trick, for some organized severe weather. I mean, even less in some cases. And, having 4,000, ML Cape, that's plenty enough fuel. Plenty enough. Let's see. Let me look at the lower level winds here. Yeah, we got a little bit of a lower level jet here. You can see later on tonight. That'll increase. Could see maybe up to 25, maybe 30 knot lower level wind shear. See instability here. Let me grab a sounding in that. Don't want to cherry pick it, but we'll just grab a sounding here and see what we got. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of that capping inversion, so if storms can fire through it, there is some veering going on here. Mid-level shears, not too bad. Maybe a little bit of curvature on our photographs here. Helicity's not super high, but, you know, enough. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of what the risk is. You know, maybe overnight we could see a couple of, you know, brief spin-ups. But, you know, I don't think they would be anything, you know, aggressively violent or anything like that. So that's good. Let's see, 28 supercell composite on meso analysis, which is very really. Yeah, we took a peek at meso analysis earlier, but we did not look at the supercell composite. Let me see here. Here, we're gonna bring you all over here. Oh yeah, I see that. This is in what, South Dakota? It's 5,000. Holy cow. Yeah, there's a lot of instability out here, up in the Dakotas. Plenty, I mean, plenty enough. DK piers also quite high. You know, like I mentioned, today's threat's mostly going to be, you know, damaging wind threat. Although, you know, a tornado or two cannot be ruled out here. Across, like, Nebraska and stuff, we got good instability. But, you know, lower-level winds are about, you know, 20-ish knots ahead of the convection. Let's see, a mid-level flow. It's pretty weak, actually. Yeah, our mid-level wind shear, so, yeah, is pretty weak, about 20 knots as well. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to have any tornadic activity here, too. Yeah, that threat's more for North Dakota, like we mentioned here. But we also got to look out for, like, portions of Indiana and Illinois, too. We do have a little bit of curvy hodos out here. Let's bring up our 2%. Yeah, there you go. There's our 2%. Wonder if those supercells in central South Dakota will do anything tornadic down the line. They might be elevated. I'm curious as to what moisture content is out there. Yeah, surface moisture in our dew point depression does seem to be pretty great, which could definitely, you know, elevate storm bases and allow for, you know, make it a harder time for tornadic activity. But the 2% still exists here. Just depends. Yeah, here, let me show you this real quickly. Back over in meso analysis, you can see the gap between our temperature and our dew point. I mean, that's pretty great. That's like pretty much a 10 degrees Celsius differential, which that's a pretty wide dew point depression. So yeah, storm bases could be quite elevated. I mean, shear's not too bad. You can see that we do have got a little bit of curvy hodograph activity on it. We'll see what happens though. Seems very late. This will be all after night, or all during the night. What's up, Jim? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Saying, hey, good afternoon, everybody, from Log Cabin, Texas. What's up, my friend? Good to see you here. Good to have you here. Anyways, all right, let's get back to the current warnings and stuff. We have a warning up in Virginia. Good 700 millibar dry air intrusion. Let me look. Yeah, there is. That could definitely promote some hail growth a little bit. Like I mentioned, up north we have a little hail threat. Got a little bit of a hail concern. But you know, that's really it for North South Dakota. Jim says, sorry, Andy just got here. No, you're good, man. You are good. All right, we got a warning up here in Virginia. This is out by Crozet and Waynesboro area. This is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. So got to keep an eye out there for that. Looking up by Virginia, we do have a little bit of storm activity popping through. Nothing super big, but yeah, one up there by just west of Charlottesville, Virginia, for Waynesboro. Cremora, Crozet, and North Garden. So just that's 34 more minutes left. We got a severe warning now in Pennsylvania, in southeastern Pennsylvania. This is up here by Littis. Let's see, up by North Cronwell, Lebanon, Anvil, Salona, I think it is, sorry. Let's see here, Mount Wilson, Mountain Joy. This one is for, they have a tornado possible. That's for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and penny hail. But yeah, they do have a tornado possible tag on that. Let's peek at velocity, see if we got anything going on. Well, yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, radar coverage is not the best, but yeah, well, look at that. We got maybe a little bit of an upper level couplet here. Let's see what levels. That's 8,000 feet up, so could look a little different towards ground or closer to ground level. But anyways, it does appear to have a little bit of a couplet, a little bit of mid-level rotation here. Lower mid-level rotation. Yeah, I see why they put that. We'll have to keep an eye on that storm here. Table says, should I worry about tomorrow's risk? Nah, you shouldn't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, people in the marginal risk area you should keep an eye on the weather, but it's nothing to worry about. You know, it's not like a full-blown outbreak or anything like that, you know. Like, tomorrow we do have a level 1 risk out by the Mid-Atlantic, which does not include you. Also, we do have a level 2 tomorrow, too, up by Minnesota and Wisconsin. See, they do have a pretty large 2% tomorrow. Yeah, quite a large 2%. See, 15% wind threat and 5% here across the Brown. Also got that 5% up in the Mid-Atlantic here. And another 5% hail risk. It seems pretty similar to today, probability-wise. We're into level 1 tomorrow. Gotcha. Gotcha. Boy, we have all kinds of storms popping through out here in Montana today. We got 3 warnings up in Montana right now. We have one out by Stanford and Hobson. Let's see here. 60 mile per hour wind gusts and penny hail. We have 16 more minutes on that one. Up here to the northeastern side of Montana, we have Opheim. Let's see here. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, $50 hail on that one. And the one out here west of Roundup, Montana, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter hail. So all of these appear to be, all these warnings we have right now, these are all for 60 mile per hour wind gusts here. The hail really ranges on them. Right now, the biggest storm is this guy up in western Nebraska, northwestern Nebraska. They just actually put an extension on that. They did drop the hail now below severe limits, which it's now at nickel size hail, which is 60 mile an hour winds though. How big is a $50? A $50 is the size of a $50. Nah, it's a little bit bigger than a quarter. So a quarter is 1 inch in diameter. $50 is 1.25 inches. So it's an inch and a quarter. Not a literal quarter, but a quarter of an inch. You know what? Hold on a minute. I will be right back. I'm going to turn off my camera for a second because I'm going to go grab something here real fast. I might be able to help you. I think I have a $50 somewhere. Here we go. All right. Hold on a minute, y'all. Okay. I'm back. And I have a $50. So I don't know if you can see this pretty well. Here, let me first of all turn back on my camera. Is it there? Oh, there you go. I know you can't really see that. That's a $50. which is slightly larger than a quarter. I wish I had a quarter, but I don't. Who has a $half but doesn't have a quarter? Anyways. Let's see. Mesoscale discussion for Central South Dakota storms. Oh, did they put one out there? Here, let's turn on. Let me turn on the mesoscale discussions here real quickly. Discussions. Is it this one here? It's got to be a new one, right? Oh, look at that, dude! They just hit it. We just got a watch up in Montana. Wow. Well, there you go. Yeah, we now have a, let's see here. We now have a severe thunderstorm watch up here for central and northeastern Montana. That's 7 hours. Look at that. Damaging wind gusts up to 70 possible. Hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter. See, no central South Dakota. Oh, this little guy? Shoot, I didn't even see that. Oh, those are on those two severe storms out here. Gotcha. So new one for the two splittings. Gotcha. Probability of watch issuance 40%. See, peak tornado intensity 85 to 115. Yeah, that's pretty low, as expected. See, mesoscale discussion has lower level wind shear out here about 10, 15 knots at 150 millibar. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of super strong wind shear out here. See, your peak hail size 1.5 to 2.5 though. That's pretty high. I mean, given we're not in the hatch risk for hail or anything like that, I mean, it's only a 5%. Let's see here. Yeah, they're right on the edge of it too. Little baby MCD. Yeah, it is a little guy, isn't it? Elevated tornado threat on those. Yeah. You know, the one thing though is that I wish is that we had a closer radar, because you know these are storms are kind of sandwiched between two radars here. You know. So the best for scanning is like a good 10,000 feet or greater. Let me try this one here. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hold on a minute. You know what? We do got a little bit of a couplet here. This is scanning about 12,000 feet up here. See, do we have a tornado? It do not have a tornado possible tag on those, which is kind of surprising. Hail threat's been observed to 1.5 inches on this one. Ping pong ball hail from the public. Let's see here. Injuries near the surface low, which would enhance surface vorticity, which would increase the tornado threat. That is true. Here, let me look at that real quickly. Do you want to bring up the... Oh, yeah. It is. You're right. Yeah, let me bring you over here. So there's that low, and there's those cells here. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That I do. Let's see, effective inflow layer. Yeah, helicity is about 1 to 200. I do bulk shear. Whoops. I do that all the time. I'm like, that doesn't line up, does it? Nah, I mean, yeah, I see that. Huh. Yeah, we definitely need to keep an eye on these cells here, and I do see exactly why they did that. You know, honestly, I appreciate you pointing that out, because I would have probably not have seen it. Just too focused on looking at the current warnings and stuff, you know. Here, let me bring you all back over here. Let's see. Got a warning up in southern South Dakota. This up there by Parmalee. Quarter hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. Back into western Nebraska. We got a warning up here for Gordon, Merriman, 0.88 inches, which is nickel-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. Got another one here for Broadwater. Once again, this is western Nebraska. This actually, I think, weakened below severe limits, so that's going to expire. Good. East of Alliance, let's see. This one's for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, penny hail as well. Anyways, see no problem. What's up, Brandy? Say hello, Andrew. Hello, everyone. What's up, my friend? Good to see you, Brandy. Hope you're doing well. Nothing too concerning, but something we need to watch for 2023. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Being right on that low. Dude, this is honestly great. Look at the fat cape in this QT chart. Here, hold on. Do you see that? How much cape there is here? Let's see. That's over 4,000. Let me try up here. Oh my gosh. There you go. So that's about what 5,000, a little over 5,000 cape looks like on a QT chart. Sheesh, dude. You know what? There's got to be some pretty strong vertical velocities, you know, with cape that high. You know? That is very, very interesting. Oh, we got a... I didn't know this. We have a mesoscale discussion up here in Pennsylvania. Let's see here. Severe potential, 20%. So, yeah, they're probably not going to issue it. But, and we do got quite a bit of storm activity up here in Pennsylvania. Not, like I said, not a lot of it's severe, except for the one storm right now, which is out there by Anvil. Let's see, out there by Lidditz, Mount Joy, East Petersburg, Mount Gretna area. So penny hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. They do, once again, they do have a tour possible on that storm, so we'll keep an eye on that one. And we got some storms up by Columbus too. Not severe. These guys are just possibly in the range of 40-mile-per-hour winds out here. Oh, dude, look at that. We got a lemon, an orange, and a cherry, all in the Eastern Pacific. I just noticed they actually upgraded that. See, so the one disturbance southeast of Hawaii, we are now to 70 overall. We were at 60, I believe, last time we looked at it. 60% chance of development in the next 2 days, 70% chance here in the next 7 days. Got a new disturbance here, 2030. Next 48 hours, 20% chance of development. Next 7 days, 30%. And then in the Eastern Pacific here, we do have 040. So 48-hour development, 0%. 70, or sorry, where did I get 70 from? 7-day development, 40% overall. And that's it. Right now we have nothing in the Atlantic, but we'll see what happens with that wave that we're looking at. Here, let's look at the models again, y'all. We're gonna take a peek over here. We're gonna take a break from severe weather for a second. Let's hop over to tropics. You know what? We might want to do Central Pacific. So yeah, there's that one disturbance there that's just southeast of Hawaii here. Oh yeah, look at that GFS. Kind of shows maybe a short-lived depression or maybe even storm. I mean, new GFS shows central low of 993 at minimum. And then there's that second one behind it here. You know, GFS kind of shows a little satellite low too, just east of that main disturbance area. Yeah, but this is not going to be a problem for anybody really. I mean, this is all just in the open waters, you know. Euro, let's see here. Euro has it not as strong as GFS, which is not really surprising. I think Euro has it a little bit closer to Hawaii, doesn't it? Yeah, Euro does have it a little bit closer up towards Hawaii, but still far enough from any big issues. So that's good. Let's see your CMC. Yeah, CMC not really that strong. Yeah, I think GFS is a little bit more aggressive. Just a tad bit more aggressive. Let me hop to the Eastern Pacific now, though, because that new area disturbance, we're going to have to keep an eye out there for. See, latest GFS doesn't have it really becoming anything super problematic here. I think previous run, though, go back to 12 UTC, though. Yeah, maybe a little bit stronger. Let's go 6. Oh, yeah, look at that. GFS in Fantasyland, man, I tell you. Oh, my gosh. It's scary to look beyond those hours, which is not a good idea. Sheesh. Yeah, let's go back to 18 UTC, though. Moisture. I mean, it seems like we have a pretty good amount of moisture. It could encounter some shear. Huh. We'll watch it. I mean, like I mentioned, though, it doesn't seem like it's going to be any big issue for the states or anything like that. So that'll be good. All right, let's hop y'all back over here to the current conditions. Got a severe warning up here in Charlottesville area. Charlottesville, Virginia. We got 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny hail on that one. Let's see here. The biggest storm we got right now is up in South Dakota. This one's now for... Oh, they upgraded this one, actually. Yeah, we're at golf ball hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. This is out for Whitehorse area. This was those 2 cells that we're really keeping an eye out there for. Yeah, I mean, they did put a 40% chance of a watch out here, so we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not super likely, but possible. We do have a watch out here in western Nebraska here still, which we got 3 hours. 3 hours left on that one. See, Sam said I really don't look at violent tornado parameters too much, but there's a pocket of 9 northeast of the storms in central South Dakota. Yeah, I mean, I don't really look at that either, to be honest with you. You know, especially a day kind of like today. I don't think we're gonna have anything violent. Any major tornadic activity doesn't seem possible or doesn't seem likely today. You know, more than likely, if we did get tornadoes today, like I mentioned, they would be relatively weak and brief here. Just given the kinematics out there. We're still watching this flood watch, y'all. We have 18 hours on here for Illinois. They did WPC actually did put out a mesoscale discussion here for a little bit of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana going through Ohio. So a little bit of a flooding threat here. Looking at today's risk, we do actually have here. Let's get rid of these mesoscale discussions here. But we do actually have a few level 2 risks out here for flooding, in which we do have a pretty big, at least 15% chance probability here. is out here by like Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, a little bit of Ohio too. Once again, it's at least a 15% chance of flooding here. So if you're in a low-lying spot and you're in these regions here, just keep an eye on the rain, okay? Keep an eye on that flooding potential. Let's see here. Mark says, what is the chance of my area getting another storm? Where you at, Mark? Let's see what we got tomorrow. Tomorrow we got a couple level 2s as well, flooding-wise. Day 3, Monday, right? Day 3, yeah, Monday, day 3. We got 2 level 1 risks out here. Let's see, going in Tuesday, going in Wednesday, midweek. Could pick up a little bit on the flooding. Pretty widespread, though. What did I say, Wednesday? Day 5. Day 1 Saturday, day 2 Sunday, day 3 Monday. Yeah. All right, I got you, Mark. No problem, man. Let's see. Oh, okay. That's right. You're up here by up here in Missouri. Well, I mean, today we do have that level 1 threat, but it doesn't really look like we have a lot of anything crazy going on out by you. We have a little bit of rain to your north here. So, but we have quite a bit of convection west of you. Non-severe though, but we do have a weather statement on it, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, so I'll have to look out for that. But yeah, no. I mean, we do have a level 1 threat today, which we'll keep an eye out there for. No tornadoes, though, for you. No hail, just a little wind risk here. But those storms will likely work their way over into your area here. Carrot says, problem with the strong tornado parameter values is that it depends on if the storms fire in the first place and the storm mode. It's better to look at the overall environment, like the photographs and value. That is so, yeah, that's very true. Absolutely. I mean, if you have these values and storms don't even fire off in those regions, I mean, Let's see, we're going to take a peek back up here in Montana. And we got a little bit of discrete cell action going on up here in Montana. Let's see, 60, yeah, these are for 60-mile-an-hour winds and anywhere from 1 to 1 inch hail to $0.50, quarter to $0.50 hail. Another warning up by Roundup here. Let's see here. This one's 60 and 100 or 100. That would be crazy. 60. What? I didn't look. Sorry, I kind of got that sidetracked here for a second. But no, we do have quarter hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on this one. Dude, 100 would be nuts, man. I think the biggest hail ever recorded was 8 inches, or that's for equivalent. That is bowling ball size hail. Curious as to what the next meso analysis is. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Carrot, absolutely. Did you hear they're getting rid of the NAM? I think next year they're removing the NAM. It's kind of bittersweet, though, It's like, I'm going to miss NAM moments, but, forecasting with NAM for so long, but it's like, it's kind of good. But I think it's being replaced, though. I don't think it's just being removed. I think it's actually being replaced by another model, which that'll be interesting. I think it's going to be more of a higher resolution model, if I'm not mistaken. I did a little bit of reading up on it. All right, Ohio, we have no active warnings anymore. We do have a special weather statement, though, out by Columbus. We do got some pretty heavy convection out by Columbus. Looks like we do have a lot of lightning. A lot of lightning out here. 40-mile-per-hour winds. Hail possible, too. We still got that one warning up in Virginia, west of Charlottesville. Let's see here. Could have missed. Missed those 870 millibar hypothetical hurricane runs. Dude, me too. You got the NAM 3 kilometer that shows like even the slightest depression, a 800 millibar hurricane. It's hilarious, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna miss that too. I really am. Back over here in Pennsylvania, let's see, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny hail on that one. Man. Yeah, so they're gonna remove all the NAM NAM 3K. Let's see, the main NAM was at the normal one's the NAM 12K, right? At least we still have the GFS to do that. Yeah, but it's not the same though, Carrot, you know? I mean, GFS is drunk in its own way. NAM's just off the charts. It's always off the charts. Here, let's look at satellite. Yeah, I forgot when they're going to get rid of it. I think they said sometime next year. Let's see. Here we go. Look at the lower level water vapor here. Yeah, we do got a bit of yeah, I can English. We got a bit of dry air out here by the Midwest, Central Plains. But that can't really be said for a lot of the country. I mean, look at the satellite view below me here. Look at all of those storms that just fired off there. At least we don't have to worry about the NAM 3K being linear bias. Yeah. You never. I mean, and it's rare to see the NAM do anything other than a QLCS or anything other than an MCS. Just it's always linear. It is always linear. So NAM loves linear systems and loves crazy hurricane hypothetical scenarios. Could you imagine? Okay, I'm actually curious about this. Could you imagine, say, if a hurricane was actually meant, or actually not meant, but actually was going to get down in the 800 millibar range? Imagine then what the NAM would say. Like 700 millibars. Dude. It's hard telling. I think Milton last year briefly got down into 800 territory, right? Like 899 or something. It was pretty low. The backwards duration. That's true. That is very, very true. Yeah, it's you can kind of see why they're getting rid of it. I mean, it's not the best of models. Hey, but we still got it for the rest of this year, you know. Here, let's speaking of NAM. Here, let me bring you over here, guys. So, Weather on the Go, he actually mentioned this earlier. Talking about this MCS here that could be rolling through for the 28th into the 29th here. See if that materializes. Let me try HRRR. I don't think we have the long range out. Let's go 18 UTC. I don't think we can go that far. Yeah, still a little early. Carrot says, funnily enough, one of the NAM runs this month actually had a discrete cell super duper outbreak in the Northern Plains for a QLCS event. Why am I not surprised? I mean, that's just classic NAM. It's just how NAM runs. Abby says, I keep hearing rumors that they're going to come out with a Category 6 hurricane. Nah. Let's see here. Yeah, the scale does only go up to 5. What you're hearing is TikTok drama, which is just fake news for clicks. That's all that is. Yeah, they're not gonna add a category 6. I mean, category 5 is 157 or greater. You know, notice how I said greater, meaning it pushes beyond limits. So, nah, there's no need to, in my opinion. Anyways, we got a new warning here in Western Maryland. Western Maryland, out here by Cumberland, Bowling Green. 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. What's up, MP? Saying what's up, Andrew? Long time. Yeah, man. It's been a minute. Hopefully you're doing good. Good to see you here. See here. Like it showed a dozen discrete cells on the run. I bet. I would have done the same thing. Absolutely. Nah, NAM has got a mind of its own. I mean, literally. What's going on here? Is that radar out of... I think this radar is, yeah, a little off. We do got some severe warnings up here just west of Wichita Falls, out here by Crawwell area. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny hail. Wait a minute. This, the northern one's actually for 70. Yep, 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny hail. That's going to hurt if you're out in that. So please make sure that you are not out in that. I mean, yeah, penny hail's not a problem, but if you have 70-mile-an-hour winds driving that penny hail, that's going to leave some marks. I mean, have any of you guys been on the beach during like 30 to 40-mile-an-hour winds or greater? If you have, you'll know what I'm talking about. That in those winds, even a little speck of sand hurts. But just imagine penny-sized hail, chunks of ice, hitting you at double that. Yeah, it wouldn't really feel too good. I mean, shoot, honestly, penny hail could probably do some damage, you know, if you have 70 or greater. Let's see. New mesoanalysis came in. Lower level of storm relative helicity increased to 150, as well as our effective relative helicity now at 300. Surface vorticity of 15. Central storm very conditional. Strong tornado threat. We'll see what happens with it. I mean, once again, the thing that sucks is that we have no radars out here, so it's kind of hard to really monitor what's going on in those lower levels. That is one thing that really sucks. I mean, at least we got some radar data, but like we're scanning like 10 to 15,000 feet up. You know, that's like what, 3 miles basically. So it's a little ways away up there. It's just a little bit. Let's see. We're mostly in 60 realm with these guys. Yeah, they actually removed the, what was it? It was golf ball hail on one of these warnings here. They removed it. So it seems like all of the hail threat on these western Nebraska storms are all below severe threshold. So we're all at penny size. These are all just for 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. Got 3 hours left on that watch, though. So we'll keep it out there for that. Here, let me, I want to do something with you guys. I want to bring you all over to models again. We're going to take a peek at tonight. I want to look at the HRRR. So we got the new 23 out. Nice. Here, let's bring you guys over here. Take a look at the storm mode. So yeah, as we progress into the overnight hours here, you can see that, you know, a lot of North Dakota starts getting their convection here. You know, that's actually where we have that level 2 threat today. It's for a lot of southern North Dakota here. Shelba says, yeah, I've been there before, had a bruise on my face from the wind-driven hail. Very painful. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. You know, even rain, if you're going fast enough, can hurt. And the reason I know this is because I've been on a jet ski out in the water whenever it started storming and we had to go back to shore quickly, and we were traveling at, I don't know, probably 40, 50. I was driving probably 40, 50 miles an hour, and, it really stings. Rain, even, let alone hail. Yeah, it's rough. 70-mile-an-hour winds and penny hail is a lot worse than you think. Doesn't sound like it, but it is. What's up, Carissa? Saying, hey, Andrew in chat. What's up, my friend? Hopefully you're doing good. But yeah, no, like I mentioned tonight, we're going to start to see a bit of convection increase out here by North Dakota, which some of that could lead into Minnesota, which the level 2 threat does extend into northwestern Minnesota too. So we will keep an eye out there for that. I don't think I'm going to be live at that point. I don't know. I might do a second live stream tonight, maybe some late night coverage. Possibly. We'll have to see what happens, We'll have to see. But yeah, though tonight though we do have potential for maybe a couple brief spin ups. Once again, we're not expecting any violent tornadoes or anything massive to occur tonight, but there could still be tornadoes tonight. Once again, I mean we also do have another 2% tornado risk here today for portions of central Illinois, like northern Indiana, and a little sliver of extreme southwestern Michigan here. Which does include areas up by Three Rivers. Just shy of Kalamazoo here. So, these green areas here, these areas here, these are all flash flood warnings. But yeah, these ones here, I think these actually might be flood warnings, right? Yeah, these are all flood warnings. But yeah, we'll keep an eye out there for that. We'll probably do some overnight coverage, to be honest with you. I think it'll probably be needed. So, y'all stay tuned for that too. We'll probably go live around midnight, maybe, so we can cover some in North Dakota. Alrighty, let's see what we got going up here in Montana. See how these storms are doing here now. Got quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts here, but we got quite the reflectivity popping through. Look at that, 70, sheesh, upper 70 dBz up there. I mean, that's only 1,000 to 1,500 feet up. That's pretty high reflectivity. We've got maybe a little bit of gusty winds there, but remember, what happens in this level doesn't mean it always happens in the lower levels, if that makes sense. So we're scanning. I mean, we're not scanning that high up at all. We're at only 1,000 foot up, which is very, very, not very high up. But yeah, I mean, this is not always going to be what's happening on ground level, if that makes sense. Anyways, let's see here. MP, you still doing good, man? Take a look up here. We got a warning up north of Billings, too. Oh, this is coming up towards Roundup area. Going northeast. Also, quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Just baseline warnings, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you ever get in a warning for 60-mile-an-hour winds and, quarter hail, it's best that you just stay indoors, away from windows. I mean, you don't have to fully seek shelter or anything like that. But I would definitely recommend, once you start, if you get into a warning, where you start to have 80 to maybe 90-mile-an-hour winds or greater, then I'd recommend seeking shelter in winds like that. But thankfully, we're not going to really see anything like that today, which is good. Maximum wind gust today, I think, is going to be up to 70, which they have in the watch over here. The one from Montana, gusts up to 70 possible, and then 1.5-inch hail possible as well. But the mesoscale discussion that they put out for South Dakota that we were looking at here a little bit ago, they have 1.5 to 2.5 inch hail possibility, and wind gusts up to 65 to 80 miles an hour. So we'll see what happens. Sydney says, I got a quick question. Of course. Shoot it my way. MP says, I'm good here in New York. Good to see you, man. Good to see ya. Carissa says, hot and humid here in Pennsylvania, but the clouds are amazing looking. Yeah, sounds like Florida, kind of. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have much today here in Florida, unfortunately. Let's see here. Sydney says, so I got a call from my family friend in Idaho about a severe thunderstorm warning, and he wants more info. Gotcha. Yes, there is. Out there by Boise. Let's see here. So this includes Nampa, Meridian, Caldwell, Marsing, Murphy. This is actually here for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. Let's see here. This expires at 7:15 p.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, it's just for a little bit of gusty winds up to 60. There is a bit of lightning activity too. Yeah, just tell them to remain indoors and away from windows, and they'll be fine. Colton says, let's see here, my family and I got 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. Oh, in Indiana, gotcha. That's pretty gusty. Is tornadoes possible? No. The storm does not have any tornadic problems. Yeah, there's nothing tornadic related going on with this storm here, which is good. Also, no risk for tornadoes either, so we're fine. Yeah, just the potential for a little bit of gusty winds out of it. That's really about it. To be honest, I didn't even notice this warning out here, but it's there. It's there. We got quite a bit of activity here. Let's hop back over here to these South Dakota storms here. These are both warned for golf ball hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds out here. Yikes. So that includes La Plante. Let's see here, White Horse. So we'll keep an eye out there for that. Let's see here, tornado possible on that central South Dakota severe. What, which one? Central South Dakota? Oh, yeah, the one up north. Gotcha. The one by North Central. Gotcha. So that's for the one for Whitehorse. Gotcha. Yep, we do. Like I said, it just kind of sucks that we're literally sandwiched between 3 different radars here. I mean, literally. Look at this. Our storms are right here, right? We have a radar right here, which we're looking at. We have a radar up here. We got another radar down here. We literally have a big triangle, and the storms have to be in the middle of it, which gives us the worst views of it. Kind of sucks, but they are going to be working their way up towards that radar site here. Slowly getting closer to the radar, which is kind of nice, but still, we're also still scanning 10,000 feet up, so we're a little high up there, just a tad. Let's see here. Let's take a look back at Nebraska. Ooh, we got a nice little noodle outflow boundary on this storm here. Look at that. Let's see, these guys. Yeah, these ones were all for. Yeah, all for penny hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. What is a hybrid tornado? I have no clue. Never heard of a hybrid tornado. We got a new warning for western Ohio. Up by New Weston, North Star, Ansonia. 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny hail. Tornado possible on that one, too. Oh yeah, look at that. We have a little couplet out here. It's like maybe a little inflow notch kind of pulling in here. I don't know. We do got a little couplet on that. We're gonna watch that storm. That is going into Ohio. SPC mentions a hybrid tornado possible in the special MCD. Really? Huh. Colton says, "Hey Andrew, I was wondering if I could help you during tropical season. Let's see here. I wonder if I could help you since I want to be a government. I mean, I'm not really looking for like help, to be honest with you. So, I mean, yeah, right now I'm not really looking for any help on things right now, but I really appreciate it. I'll let you know if I do change though, okay? But yeah, no, Sam, I don't know what that means. Hybrid tornado. I mean, the only thing that comes to mind with hybrid is landspout, but like, because I mean, landspouts do not associate with mesocyclones like tornadoes do, you know. So I don't know what they mean. What do they mean by hybrid? That's really. Hold on. So I looked it up, and it says hybrid tornado is typically referred to a tornado that exhibits characteristics from more than one tornado type, usually both supercellular from supercell thunderstorms and non-supercellular like land spouts or water spouts. It's not an official meteorological classification, but it is terms sometimes used by storm chasers and forecasters when tornadoes don't neatly fit into one category. So, okay. So, yeah, like I was mentioning, land spouts. That's kind of what I was thinking. Is it had to do something with a land spout. I mean, because the main difference there, between land spouts and tornadoes is that land spouts, they might look like tornadoes, but they're not associated with a mesocyclone, which is that big rotating dish basically that you see underneath or above a tornado. And then land spouts don't have those. Anyways. SPC says, though landspout / supercell hybrid tornado could accompany... Okay. Okay. So, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Colton says it's fine. Just let me know. Yeah, I will. I will. Alrighty. Let's see. They canceled that warning up in Virginia. We still have that warning up here for southeastern Pennsylvania, though, out by Mount Joy. What's up, Sonia? Welcome. Good to see you here, my friend. Yeah, it's out by Mount Joy, East Petersburg. Let's see, North Cornwall. It expired just now. All right, never mind. We never talked about it. Yeah, that radar's broke. We do got a warning up here in Texas for Crawwell. It's a tiny but mighty little cell, it looks like. We got quite a bit of lightning on it. Very interesting. Here, let's look at western Nebraska here. Let's see, we got Cody and Kilgore. Yeah, all these warnings here, the ones in West Nebraska, these are all for the same hazard of 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny hail. The one up in southern South Dakota here, we do have quarter hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds on this one. Up by Norris and Parmalee areas here. Colton says I work for free. Yeah, like I said, I'm just not looking for any help like that. What I would be looking for though is like storm chasers for people who could actually go out there, or people who actually storm chase. I would be interested in that, but like doing the coverage part, I'm pretty good where I'm at right now. I really appreciate it though. All right, so they did cancel that Pennsylvania storm. We do have the one up here in Ohio. Oh, hi. Oh. Yeah. Out by New Weston and Ansonia. 60-mile-an-hour winds in penny hail. They did remove that special weather statement for Columbus. We do still have quite a bit of lightning, though, going on up at Columbus. So, still got to look out there for that. Let's see here. What's all this about? Got a special weather statement for New York. Scattered thunderstorms will develop this evening in the Finger Lakes region. A few of these storms could contain locally heavy rainfall, dangerous lightning, and small hail. Gotcha. Okay. It seems like a lot of the activity over there is calming down a little bit, but we still got a lot of the Nebraska and Montana areas to look out for. Am I looking for weather spotters? Yeah. People underestimate lightning. They really do. They really do. That is faux show. All right, y'all. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm probably going to roll off here for now. We've been live over an hour and a half here. We're going to go back live tonight, though, probably around midnight, so I can cover some of those night storms out there. The ones up by North Dakota, because we do have that 2% tornado risk out there. So we're gonna head off for now, but later tonight, like I mentioned, yeah, we'll go live for you guys again to give you guys some more info and stuff like that. So yeah, hope to see you guys there. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Maybe leaving a like too if y'all could. Be much appreciated. Sonia says, "Thank you, Andrew." Yeah, no problem. You guys are welcome. Yeah, like I said, we'll be back here tonight though. We'll go live at midnight Eastern or 11 p.m. Central or local. So we'll be there to help you guys out with the nighttime threat. I feel like it's pretty important for us to go live during that part. So we'll be there. See you later, Carrot. Thanks for joining. See you later, Colton. See you later, everybody. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. But, all right, guys, we're going to head off here in approximately 1 minute. So go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, your family, anybody you're hanging out with in the chat. And just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate y'all very, very much. What's up, Sean? All right, goodbye, Sean. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining. We'll catch you guys tonight at midnight, all right, for some overnight coverage and stuff. But, all right, everybody. See y'all later on. Peace out, my friends. Catch y'all in the next one.